it's been a little while since a movie has really been divided as much as I see this movie is. Some movies are divided here and there, but this one, I see so many 10 out of 10s and then like 1 out of 10s. And that's usually people going online and giving 1 out of 10 for movies they wish to see not be as highly praised, or giving 10 out of 10 scores to movies that they just want to be able to succeed no matter what they thought of it. Um, with Babylon, I see this movie as being dividing people a good thing. I like when movies don't try to please every single person out there, because that's usually the ones that are kind of lukewarm to me, or even bad. But with Babylon, I see this movie as being something that a lot of people just do not know how to watch. I see reviews online talking about mostly how it's boring, there's no story, no plot. It's just, I've seen some people say, oh, they don't like the debauchery in it and the adult themes. Okay, well, if those are the facts, then don't review the movie. I'm not really too much of a musical person, but that does not mean I'm going to sit there and watch a musical and say the movie's bad, because I personally did not enjoy it, even though stuff like La La Land I thought was amazing. But with Babylon, you really have to understand that the movie structure and the plot and everything that Damien Chazelle does in the movie is done on purpose, and it can be done no other way. Here in the past few years, I have really gone into movies without watching any of the trailers, without reading anything too much before I watch it, because I really, really want to be able to enjoy and be surprised by every single aspect of the movie. And plus, one thing I've noticed is that a lot of people go into movies with expectations, and if their expectations are not met, then they say, "Oh, the movie's bad," or they go in hoping for something and then not getting it, or they thought the movie was going to be one thing and it turned out to be something else. All centered around by what you see in trailers or write ups beforehand before actually watching the movie. And if you don't watch anything about the movie, don't watch any trailers, or at least watch maybe a little bit of the trailer, enough just to get the gist of the movie, you still got to be able to decide if you want to see the movie or not. But being able to go into each and every movie that I've gone to in the past several years without knowing hardly anything about them, and being surprised by the tiniest of things, has really made me appreciate the movie going experience. And with Babylon, the movie going experience was this. My entire theater, although there's only about maybe 20 or 30 of us, everyone was laughing throughout the entire length of the movie. Everyone seemed to have a great time, but then afterwards, people were saying, "Oh, it's a terrible movie. It was a waste of time," which kind of took me by surprise, because I personally had a lot of fun in the movie. It was just exhilarating to watch things on the screen that I've never seen before, and I've seen a lot of things in a lot of movies. But as far as the no plot, no storyline, there's a genre of movie of like just hanging out movies. For instance, Quentin Tarantino excels in this area. Take a look at Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If you really wanted to look at that movie and say an hour could have been cut out of that thing, no problem, sure, but would it have been the same movie experience? Not in the slightest. So with Babylon being 3+ hours long, could stuff have been cut out? Sure, but I think upon reevaluation of the movie, you can take a look at every single scene in the movie Babylon, and probably realize that everything deserves to be in the movie, because every single scene, once you really think about it, adds to the overall movie going experience. And that experience is this. It starts off on a big high note. Just lots of crazy things going on, lots of wild music and acts and crazy camera moves, and just, like I said earlier, debauchery. And it starts off with no real story. I mean, you get a little bit of characterization, but any characterization that builds up anything is solved right away. So there's no overall story being built up. There's no conflict that needs to be resolved by the end of the movie, or character journey, other than the characters just going on their own personal journey of enjoying life and living life to in excess. And once the story develops, it's through character scenes and scenes that seemingly don't mean anything or seemingly could be cut, but all in all add up to major plot and character. So when it comes to watching and knowing how to enjoy Babylon, you really just got to go in there with the mindset of, I'm going to hang out with these people. I'm going to see how they live their daily lives and how they use the movie industry around them to shape how they change their lives. And some are more successful than others. In fact, really the only successful one is the one who doesn't try to capitalize on his early success. I'm not going to tell you to go watch the movie and have it be exactly like a Marvel movie, because it's not going to do that. And if you go in there expecting that, you will be disappointed. But if you expect just to have a lot of fun and then have the movie grow on you intellectually as it goes along, and then by the end, it's like you get it. If that's the type of movie you want, that's also a hard R-rated movie that's for adults, but also very funny and very enlightening, then you might enjoy this movie quite a lot. So I gave it a score of 9 out of 10. I don't think it's absolutely perfect, but barely any movies are. And it's definitely going to be in my top 10 list, probably my top 5 easily. And I will definitely be making that list here. I'm going to be reviewing past movies. My next review will be Avatar: The Way of Water. And I got a lot to say about that, especially how you watch that movie, or how at least I think you should watch it. And hopefully this channel can grow to be very discussive of movies. Not trying to be the first one on YouTube to do a review of it, but letting movies sink in, giving them more thought, really evaluating them in your headspace and looking at how other people's evaluate the movie before coming to conclusions on what I think about it. And then hopefully in due time, I can do live streams with people to be able to discuss movies and random topics in general. So until my next movie review or discussion, smash that like button, subscribe, follow me on all the social medias, which I really don't have any. But in all honesty, do those things. I'm not going to harp about it on every video. Everyone who watches YouTube knows to do it. I don't have to try and tell you to do it. I don't need to fish for that stuff. If you want to do it, great. I mean, yeah, it would get me out there more, and the more people that can see me, the more likely I'm able to have bigger discussions and do things that I want to do on the channel. So I'll see you all, and hopefully many more of you in the future.